The colour, the atmosphere, the excitement that is Croke Park on Big Match Day. This afternoon, GAA headquarters came alive on this warm and sunny May day for the Church and General National Football League final. But this summer, of course, Croke Park will be without its Cusick stand. But already the new stand is starting to take shape. From the rubble that was the old Cusick just a few months ago, already the new luxury stand is well under construction. For this year's National Football League final, however, just three sides of the Croke Park Arena is brought to life by the supporters of Meath and Armagh. Yes, hello, and you're very welcome to a new season of the Sunday game. The big action from Croke Park coming up in just a moment, but we will also have hurling for you on the programme tonight. That's the league semi-final from Páirc Uí Chaoimh between Cork and Tipperary. Well, all the usual features of the Sunday game are back again this summer. We'll have our man of the match selections, we'll have big match analysis as well, and later in the studio I'll be joined by Sean McCaig and by Kieran Barr. And as usual, our phone lines are open to you. 643535 is the number to ring, and if you're outside the Dublin area, that's 01643535. Well, more about all that later on, but first to the main action of the afternoon from Croke Park, the National Football League final between Meath and Armagh, and our big match commentator is Ger Canning.
The Croke Park capacity may be reduced somewhat, but whenever Armagh or Meath play here in a major match, one can't but be impressed by the colour and the excitement. One man exciting the fans in this league has been Ger Houlihan, Armagh's leading marksman with 4 goals and 22 points. He's part of an unchanged formation from the side that began the semi-final. Neil Smith and Jarlath Burns continue their effective midfield partnership as John Grimley is held in reserve. Cornerback John Rafferty has recovered from injury and lines up alongside two unsung heroes, Dominic Clark and Ger Reid. There's a link with the last Armagh team to play here in the league final. Kieran McGurk lost out in 1985, but he hopes to go one better today on his 76th league appearance. PJ Gillick is back from the outset for Meath as a direct replacement for the luckless Colin Brady. Gillick is looking to win a 3rd league medal. And in spite of reaching this final, there's no doubt that Meath are still moulding a team for the future. Martin O'Connell has a vital task this afternoon in keeping Armagh's main danger man at bay. However, it might well be at the half-back line that they'll need to be on top of their game, and in this respect, Graham Geraghty and Brendan Riley face difficult tasks. And as we saw in the last game, if Colm O'Rourke gets a half chance or two, he'll punish any momentary lapses in deadly fashion. Tommy McDermott from Cavan takes charge of the 63rd league final. There's the most wonderful atmosphere and great sense of anticipation here as Jarlath Burns is taken down and Armagh have the first free kick. Armagh, who won the toss, opting to play from left to right in the first half. There's a diagonal breeze here at Croke Park this afternoon. Going into the face right now, Kieran McGurk. McGurk looking for Barry O'Hagan across on the far side. Moving across there as well is Tom Hanley. One of last year's under-21s wins the free kick. Between the joint winners of Division 2 and the outright winners of Division 3. Bernard Flynn. Followed all the while there by John Rafferty. Good looking ball forward here for Trevor Giles. Giles, the free kick expert, locating Neville Dunn. Back towards Colm O'Rourke. Winding himself up for the first score of the match, hitting it in. The umpires consulting. And the Armagh people claiming that it went wide. The umpires, I think, aren't quite sure. The referee, Tommy McDermott, goes in to offer his tough and safety work. And it's a point. The referee, of course, can overrule any of his officials. He made up their mind for them. This is the kick again. A pass, first of all, set up by Trevor Giles. Neville Dunn then turning it back towards Colm O'Rourke. And the 36-year-old, he'll be 37 at the end of August, made a better angle for himself. It was tight, but it's the opening point of this league final. Martin McCullen kicking one across here towards Colm O'Rourke. Breaks into the grateful arms there of Martin O'Connell. Chased by Barry O'Hagan, appeared to be fouled after he kicked that ball away. The diving intervention not stopping Colm O'Rourke. Tommy Dowd back towards Colm O'Rourke again. This is a great chance for Colm O'Rourke. He set it up. O'Rourke. Oh, it stopped somehow in there. Armagh living dangerously, but getting away from it. Disappointment for Colm O'Rourke. He was very much involved in the setting up of that move and the final shot. PJ Gillick there against Jarlath Burns, runs on to Jimmy McGuinness. Boots trying to launch another attack towards Bernard Flynn, who's gone in towards full forward. Transfer towards Jody Devine. Devine cutting through the eye of a needle. A good score from Jody Devine, a second point of the match. First player from Ballinlough to play in a National League final since Jim Regan back in 1956, and it's 2 points to nil. Well, this is a young player who learned a lot of his football from the late Matty MacDonald in Ballinlough. He's a great coach, died a couple of months ago. He'd love to have been here, I know, to see his young prodigy sod over a lovely score. Colm O'Rourke. Armagh fans are feeling that he might just have pushed Kieran McGeeney. Royal free kick, however. Tommy Dowd. Trying to shrug off the attentions of his marker, and it's a very good opener. Tommy Dowd putting over another point, easily getting the measure of Ger Reid. Well, in Euro slang, it's 3-0. Colm O'Rourke looking up, just trying to pick somebody making a run. There were two players you see here trying to get at the end of it. It's Tommy Dowd. He has great strength, great mobility as well. Wrong footing Ger Reid, and that was fatal because this fellow's got a lot of pace, a lot of penetration as well, and he took his point with some aplomb. Lofted clear, only as far as Graham Geraghty. Fumbled. The decision goes Armagh's way. Belted it invitingly, dropped by Robbie O'Malley. That might be just enough for Jim McConville. O'Connell going back along with O'Malley, making the angle difficult for Cathal O'Hagan, and it's over the bar from Colm O'Rourke. Well, the Armagh fans have had to wait until the 9th minute to see their side get a first point. They rejoiced there at the canal end. There was a little fumble there by Robbie O'Malley, and even though they got back well to deny Jim McConville, watch as he managed to feed the ball back intelligently there towards Cathal O'Rourke, and the Drummond T-man managed to wriggle clear of the would-be challengers and take a good score. Graham Geraghty belted into space, and this time the referee signals a free in for some holding, and so far it's going very nicely for Meath. And he's in pretty sharp form this afternoon as well, starting as he means to finish. 4 points to 1. So far Meath have been making pretty good use of the extra man at midfield. PJ Gillick, there's space then in front of goal here as it's taken up by Trevor Giles, carried on again, and that knockdown by Bernard Flynn. Flynn and Dowd operating with great effect in the inside forward line. Martin McQuillan cutting out the ball there. Now it runs to John Rafferty. And it's O'Hagan, a bit of jersey tugging there it seemed, but the referee says play on. Nicely into Ger Houlihan, wrong footing Martin O'Connell. Houlihan for first time in this match. Off the post and back in. And a second chance here falling to Dermot Marsden. Again it was blocked brilliantly. Well, Armagh could have been on level terms. A ferocious shot. It's gone for a 45 after all of that. Disappointment for young Marsden. Watch as Barry O'Hagan fed it inside. This nicely hit pass. And Houlihan whipped onto it first time. Wrong footing O'Connell, showing his skills, and then from 13 metres out, unleashed a merciful shot, hit the black spot, came back down to Marsden, then denied space again as it was turned outside, and the block in the end coming off Meath defender, and it goes out for a 45. So it's Barry O'Hagan to hit this one in from 45 metres out, going away to the left, and the second wide for Armagh in this match. Gillick this time beaten. Jarlath Burns Losing out to PJ Gillick, who recovered well. And Jody Devine, swung around by Jarlath Burns. We're taking the free kicks very quickly. Meath not trying to give the backs any chance to recover. Graham Geraghty going by. The referee was very quick to whistle that one. That's a shame really, because Meath clearly had the advantage. They have the free in. Well, that was a very good run by Graham Geraghty, who's some footballer. Well, Meath, as I say, take their frees quickly. They tried to unsettle the defence. Clearly Graham Geraghty was well away from John Rafferty and might well have been allowed an advantage there by Tommy McDermott, but he had the whistle to his lips. So some further practice for Trevor Giles from screen. Physiotherapy student who's kicked 1 out of 2 and now 2 out of 3. Only 19 years of age. Trevor Giles, the baby of the team, and it's 5 points to 1. Bernard Flynn racing for this one against John Rafferty, doing well. Kicks it up so neatly, dragged down again. And that's a fair bit of persistent fouling now by John Rafferty. And off the ball, there are 2 players who fell over one another, but there was no falling over that time, as I saw Neil Smith push into the back of Jimmy McGuinness after McGuinness had earlier, I think, fallen over Jarlath Burns. Trevor Giles slotting in well in place of Brian Stafford, who's one of the substitutes this afternoon. He knows that he has to maintain a very high standard with Stafford ready to come in at any stage. That's another great kick. One of the most highly thought of young players in the game makes it 6 points to 1. Brendan Tierney with just 5 minutes now to go to half-time. First half, which has belonged to Meath. You wonder what might have happened if that shot from Jim Houlihan in the 13th minute had gone in rather than come off the crossbar. And again Martin O'Connell makes a great leap in the air. This might have been the challenge for him this afternoon, but my goodness, he's responding. Just once have we seen Armagh get Ger Houlihan in the clear. We've seen this man a few times. Colm O'Rourke again bearing down on goal towards Tommy Dowd. Brendan Tierney at 6s and 7s. Ger Reid back there as well. Back it goes again to Colm O'Rourke, the defence doing well. It was a real chance, and had that gone in, we might well have seen Armagh send out the Mayday distress signals. Well, with 7 points so far on the scoreboard, 6 points to 1 for Meath, we could easily have had 3 goals as well. 1 for Armagh and 2 for Meath, I think. Neil Smith hoping to do something about the imbalance on the scoreline, taken down in a very kickable position. Well, he's had 2 shots at the target so far from frees, failed to score. Player who played against Meath also in the 92 All-Ireland minor final, Barry O'Hagan, trying to redress the balance. He gets the 2nd point for his county. That's his first of the day. Armagh are still very much in the hunt, only 4 points in it. Ger Reid belting it into the clear here. O'Hagan going back there against Tom Hanley, and the linesman saw the push in the back, I think. The linesman had a very good view of that, and they're still wrestling for possession. The occasion just heating up a little bit. Well, the linesman decides to throw it in. It's a diplomatic way of ending a particular problem as we watch Ger Houlihan get a very good score. And the huge cheers now from rejoicing Armagh fans. The team captain is off the mark. Well, Armagh may have been shown about commitment earlier on, but now they're getting a bit of confidence. They've got 2 scores in a row now. This was Houlihan getting away from Martin O'Connell. And just in the last couple of seconds, Brian Stafford has come onto field in place of Neville Dunn. First hint of danger, and the Meath mentors spring their star. Kieran McGurk, always in the thick of the action. Colm O'Rourke up towards Ger Houlihan, trying to wriggle free of the attentions of the Meath backs. Good free kick, taken very quickly. And that's Neil Smith kicking, and it's over the bar. This game has been transformed in the last couple of minutes. Right on the call of half-time, and only 2 between them. That's a great kick by Neil Smith. but it's the product of some quick thinking. The free was taken very quickly by Houlihan, spotting that the markers were giving Neil Smith just a bit of latitude, and that was enough. And only 2 between them. Close to half-time, 6 points to 4. Martin O'Connell having to be secure. It's got the makings of what should be a great second half, and the referee calling a halt at the end of 30 minutes. It took a while to get going, but that late flurry of exchanges from Armagh, that's made all the difference. Tommy McDermott's had a busy time of it, but the half-time position here at Croke Park in the National League final reads Meath 6 points, Armagh 4. We'll be back in a couple of minutes' time. Don't go away. And welcome back to Croke Park. It's Meath 6, Armagh 4, and the set dancing referee Tommy McDermott from County Cavan getting the second half underway. Graham Geraghty back there to gather. Brendan Riley challenged all the way back there by Dermot Marsden. Armagh will have the wind at their backs for the second 30 minutes. Let's see whether that will make a big difference. Kieran McGuinney stumbling Bobby O'Malley, judged to have been fouled by McConville. Tommy Dowd had some great moments in the first half. On his way again, in towards Colm O'Rourke, across to Bernard Flynn. Will they get the goal at last? They will! Very first minute of the second half. Their entire inside forward line very much involved. Colm O'Rourke might have had it, but it's Bernard Flynn who finally slotted it away. Well, they've been threatening to get a goal, might have had 2 in the first half. Tommy Dowd won that ball initially, played on nicely inside towards Colm O'Rourke and selflessly across to Bernard Flynn, who had good vision, patience as well, and a deadly finish. This is Tommy Dowd, who really ran Ger Reid ragged as he was coming through that time, showed great vision, and likewise Colm O'Rourke, playing it across the face of that goal to Bernard Flynn, and that's a terrific goal by any standards. Tommy Dowd just overhit that one. That was enough to allow Mark McQuillan get in there ahead of PJ Gillick. On to Cathal O'Rourke. Through the centre. Misjudged by Robbie O'Malley. And now it's Jim McConville. Jersey tugged. McConville chipping. Comes off the post. Well, against Dublin, you remember in the quarter-final, Ger Houlihan was in to snap a goal. No luck on this occasion. Armagh about to make a change. And here's the big man, John Grimley. Well, it worked in the semi-final. Player who's going off is going to be Barry O'Hagan. So what can Damien Horish and company do now with John Grimley in their side? Turn back for Cathal O'Rourke. McConville just ahead of him to his left-hand side. Kieran McGurk. This is McConville. On towards O'Rourke. The Armagh version of that name puts it over the bar. That's a second point for Cathal O'Rourke. Only 4 between them. Early stages in the second half. A 3-man move. McConville, the second piece in that chain. And the final link in the equation was Cathal O'Rourke. And a very true kick. Well, Armagh now will be hoping to build on that foundation. Jarlath Burns winning the exchanges against 3 Meath men. Cathal O'Rourke, look at the way Meath are going in there en masse, denying Armagh any kind of space. Colm O'Rourke trying to get away. Well, hoping to engineer a free kick, I think, at the end of all of that. Well, he's a wily campaigner. I think he knew what he was doing. And if he wasn't going to get the kick in, at least he was going to get a free kick. Trevor Giles with 3 successful kicks out of 4 so far. The jeering coming from the Armagh followers behind the goal there. Again, he finds the range. Meath by double scores. Just denying Dermot Marsden is Graham Geraghty. It seemed to go off Jim McConville. Joe Woods, the linesman here from the Knoll in North County Dublin, signalling that it's going to be a Meath ball. Some holding inside there. And away comes John Rafferty once again, playing as a sweeper almost in that back division. Damien Horish. Jarlath Burns now. Armagh needing a couple of scores to stay right in contention. With the outside of the boot, it's Kieran McGurk who kicks it magnificently over. 9 minutes into the second half. Well, the Sarsfield's player has been so disappointed in the past to lose major finals. Well, this was one excellent kick. Some great combined play. Jarlath Burns locating Kieran McGurk, and look how he looked up outside of the boot, curled it inside that left-hand post. That's a great point. Just 4 points between the teams. And again, it's Cathal O'Rourke getting out here now. The confidence is high at Armagh. Neil Smith trying to go through and kick another for the boys from the County Armagh, and he's done just that. That's a second point for Neil Smith. In his 63rd league match for the county. We've seen some wonderful scores. Well, this was very much an individual pot by Neil Smith. Didn't need assistance, had the strength and the courage to belt it from some distance. The bounce judged expertly by Kieran McGeaney. The marking on Jarlath Burns was very slack, to say the very least. And inviting one down. Ger Houlihan racing in there, the goalkeeper coming out. The Slane base Garda winning it. That's a bad ball for Robbie O'Malley, but Graham Geraghty got back to hold on to it despite the attentions of Kieran McGurk. Now Jody Devine. From time to time this match explodes into life. Stafford to O'Rourke. Kieran McGeaney going across there to mind the house with Tommy Dowd lurking. The referee says that's going to be a free out. There's been so much to admire about the pace of this game. It's been played at a frantic pace, almost championship style commitment. Armagh gaining in confidence. That's towards John Grimley, been marked by Tom Hanley. McGurk to hit it. He really hits it very solidly across there. Armagh with McConville having some space here. Houlihan, back it goes to Dermot Marsden. Marsden trying to get between the posts, but that's outside. A promising attack yields nothing for a player who's got 3 goals and 14 points so far. John Grimley rising up for this one, but his marker is Tom Hanley. The referee spotting a foul after the ball. It's kicked away that time, and it's going to be a free in for Meath. It's curious, with Meath having such good place kickers as Trevor Giles and Brian Stafford now on the park. Clearly the management saying to the youngster, you carry on, you've done well so far. 4 from 5 is tally. The cheers ringing in his ears. A study of concentration. 3 points separating the teams. Not anymore, it's now stretched to 4. Thanks to the trusty shooting of Trevor Giles. Colm O'Rourke has now gone into full forward. Tommy Dowd is on the 40. He's still causing a lot of problems. And wrestled around by Martin McQuillan. Meath want to take the free kick quickly, nicely inside. PJ Gillick getting it back towards Colm O'Rourke. And again, there's some jersey pulling. Well, we've seen in so many matches that you cannot afford to give this number 12 easy kickable frees. He makes them all look very routine. 1-9 for Meath, 7 points for Armagh. I make it about 10 minutes left, maybe a little bit more. Jarlath Burns now. Towards John Grimley, his first contribution. Nicely on there for Neil Smith. Perhaps a goal here for Smith. Oh, he's put it wide. That's a very bad miss by a very accomplished player who had taken up such a good position. Well, he'll be most disappointed. His midfield ally, Jarlath Burns, set it up. That punt through the centre, John Grimley setting up the on-running Neil Smith. From here on in, there was a goal in his mind, I'm quite certain of that. but he'll be very disappointed he didn't even hit the target. Tom Hanley playing his heart out at cornerback. Neil Smith back in position in midfield. Ger Reid for an Armagh side needing a score or two quickly. John Grimley, who hasn't looked quite at his match sharpest in this game, even in the few minutes that we've seen him in the action. Cormac Murphy. Brendan Riley combining with Jody Devine. PJ Gillick now. This is lovely, cohesive football from Meath. On from Tommy Dowd towards Trevor Giles. Damien Horish going back there to deny the number 12. Horish is robbed, and it goes to Bernard Flynn, and it's another goal! 2 goals for Bernard Flynn. This latest one coming with 9 minutes remaining. What an absolutely brilliant move this was. You could watch it from a way back. Just at this point in the attack here, Trevor Giles was being denied by Damien Horish. But when he got down, look at the Meath men coming in quickly. That's a great tip away there by Trevor Giles. Fed inside by Brian Stafford to the waiting Bernard Flynn. And he's absolutely deadly from positions like that. The whole of the Meath team, it seemed, combined in this very swift and smooth action. Damien Horish, you have to feel sorry for him. But what about the wrist action of Trevor Giles to tip that ball away, but only as far as the waiting Brian Stafford. And they have so much experience in the forward line that Bernard Flynn wasn't going to miss a chance like that. Colm O'Rourke loses it out to Kieran McGeeney. Damien Horish now. Fed forward promisingly. Horish again. This is Jim McConville, scored a point from this angle against Laois. They're queuing up for it in there. John Grimley tipping it out to Martin McQuillan, and he's denied by Jody Devine. It had some promise, but Armagh lacked that kind of penetration in front of goal that Meath so well illustrates. Bernard Flynn, by comparison, 2 half chances and 2 goals. Tommy Dowd, who really has tormented Armagh at every opportunity. Gillick to finish off a good move by fisting a point. The player who came in for the injured Colin Brady has the broad smile on the face that says it all. It's 2-10 to 7 points. Just 4 minutes remaining now, and Tommy Dowd saw that very good run right through the centre by PJ Gillick. He really ran a good 40 yards and fisted a very good score. Ger Reid, just a hint of frustration there as he tried to get possession from Trevor Giles, taking the free towards Diarmuid Marsden. Marsden trying to bear in on goal, and that goes off the defender Graham Geraghty, and it's gone for another 45. This is the 4th 45 that Armagh have won in this match. Just over 3 minutes left. O'Rourke in towards Grimley, and the team captain Robbie O'Malley comes across the line to make the intervention, locating Jimmy McGuinness. The young lad they call Boots is on his way once again. PJ Gillick is totally unmarked. Had to do a little bit of work to get onto it, and Cormac Murphy's come through the centre. They all want to get in on the act. It's 3 against 2. Bernard Flynn looking for goal number 3, and the goalkeeper denies him. The ball has gone wide. Well, they had 3 players that time in good positions. Armagh making late changes, taking off Colm O'Rourke and Diarmuid Marsden and bringing on Des Macken and Johnny Toner. But really Meath are lording it at this stage. Inside to Trevor Giles, and Giles fists it over the bar. Bernard Flynn was waiting, it didn't come his way. But Trevor Giles gets 1 from play to add to the 6 that he got from frees. Well, if they really had wanted to here, they could have got another goal, Meath. Watch as Trevor Giles is coming in. You may just catch a glimpse of Bernard Flynn. There he is, calling for it. Didn't come his way. They're content with a point. Ger Reid. Kieran McGurk, disappointed at losing yet another final. Martin McQuillan. About 35 seconds of normal time remaining. But McQuillan is trying to put a better complexion on the final score. A late point that scarcely matters. 2-11 to 8 points. Armagh kicking just 4 points in the first half and now just 4 points in the second half. It really has been a disappointing return. They might well have had 3 goals. Who knows? Luck wasn't on their side. But that's not a bad way to finish. Again, it's a very sharp Colm O'Rourke trying to pick out Tommy Dowd, who's foraged, worked so hard. Free kick taken quickly. Kieran McGurk belted into space towards McConville. Prosper Glen player trying to dodge around Robbie O'Malley. Can they get a goal here? That's a penalty. A penalty for Armagh. Jim McConville taken down. But we're already into injury time. McConville, who looked sharp and incisive, made the first run inside Robbie O'Malley. He really is very swift on his feet. Menacing attacker. And watch now for the challenge coming in to take him down. As Robbie O'Malley collides with McConville, down he went. And this is the 28th penalty of the National League campaign. 16 have been goals so far. There have been 2 points in the previous 27. The referee wants everybody back. And it'll be McGurk to hit it. Oh, it's a great save by Donald Smith. But Armagh still there in some numbers. John Toner. And Meath win back the ball. They also win back the National League. And they do so in magnificent fashion. Meath are the masters. Trevor Giles kicked 7 points in all. 6 of them from frees. Bernard Flynn got 2 great goals, and it all ends up very nicely for Meath, who win back the National League for the 7th time. It's Meath, 2 goals and 11 points. Armagh, 8 points.
After the match that the team that was going to get the goals was going to win it, as it proved, for example, in the Armagh-Laois match. I don't think Laois were that particularly bad that day. Armagh just got the run of play and got the goals, and so it proved again today.
Very disappointing, Ger, especially not to perform on the day. We come here with sort of a great chance, but again Armagh showed the old feel of not being able to do it on the big day. And I'm very disappointed for all the boys who have put so much work in today and got nothing out of it.
We had a couple of chances against Down and Westmeath. We didn't take them, but today the couple of goals came at crucial times. But we probably could have had 2 or 3 other goals as well, but it was nice to get a couple.
We're thrilled, we're over the moon. It's great for the younger players coming in there, full of confidence there now after winning that game today. Even though we play Laois or Longford now, and you know we won't go into the game resting on our laurels today. Like, we know what we have to do for the championship.
I think there's makings of a great Leinster Championship this year. Everybody will be looking forward to it as much as me there. So it makes for a good fair, I would imagine.
We have no significant training to do now. We're back in training on Tuesday night, and most of the boys will be lifted. They know they're not as bad as we showed today, and we'll be looking forward to it for Man of Match now because it gives us a chance to prove ourselves again.
Well, so congratulations then to Meath, their 2nd league title of the 90s and the 7th in all in their history. Well, let's take a look at the statistics from today's match. Now, Meath certainly made the better use of their scoring chances. Now, both sides had 23 attempts at the target, with Meath converting 13 of those. Armagh 5 less, and when you take into account that 2 of those Meath chances ended up in goals, well, that tells its own story. Armagh also hit more wides than their opponents, 12 as opposed to Meath's 9. And in terms of frees conceded, Meath gave away 22 in the course of the hour compared to Armagh's 15. And on that note, we take a commercial break. Now, coming up in the next part of the programme, analysis of the big match plus the final between Cork and Tipperary. Also, if there are any comments that you would like to make about this afternoon's matches, or indeed anything that's on your mind in terms of Gaelic games, of course. Right now, though, we turn our thoughts back again to the Football League final and welcome Sean McCaig, the former Monaghan manager and the former chairman of the Games Administration Committee, who was in Croke Park today on our behalf. Sean, you're very welcome to the programme. A good lively match today at Croke Park. I suppose in the final analysis, Meath were the better side.
Yes, a very good atmosphere, very colourful with Armagh and Meath supporters. A lot of good football played, and in the end, the better team won. I think Armagh would admit that themselves. They didn't play as well as they had hoped they would play, but certainly Meath, no doubt about it, their craft and their experience told today.
Armagh obviously came to this final with great ambitions to win it because they feel, well, I suppose the North is on a bit of a roll in football the last couple of years. What was the difference between the two sides in the day?
Well, probably, I say, the tactics and craft of Meath, because they didn't let Armagh do what they wanted to do. They compelled them to hit the ball badly to their forwards. They put them under pressure in the middle of the park, and consequently Armagh didn't get into the fluency and into the rhythm they wanted, and their forwards consequently didn't get the possession they needed.
Well, I suppose when you're not playing as well as you would like, then you need every break that's going, and even that didn't really fall their way. Now, we've picked out the incident where Ger Houlihan hit the crossbar, and they needed this one, really.
That's true. You know, it was early in the game, about 10 minutes, and Armagh hadn't scored, and when Houlihan got the ball to make his run, I think the crowd, there was a buzz because he wanted to he wanted to get the Armagh off to a flying start. So hitting the crossbar at that stage, and I suppose Armagh felt maybe they might have got a penalty, but...
yeah, what was your assessment of that? Do you think it should have been?
No, I think that Brenton Riley tried to play the ball, and I think Jim McConville made the most of it at the time, but certainly Brenton didn't foul him.
Yeah, well, when the goal chances came, it was Meath who got those chances. They got quite a few of them in actual fact during the course of the afternoon, but Bernard Flynn was deadly.
Oh, sharp as ever. You know, it's good to see a great player like Bernard back, so sharp. The two-footed player, he could take his chances from either side, and he was very, very sharp. Tommy Dowd set up this one for him, gave the ball to O'Rourke, and of course Colm saw the man inside, and just a little sidestep and bang. You know, you expect Bernard Flynn to do that. He had been doing that for years, and he's back at his best again.
Sure. We mentioned a moment ago the fact that you really need the breaks to go your way. We looked at the Ger Houlihan incident. In the second half, a chance fell to Neil Smith, and this was one that was really wasted.
Yes, it was at a stage in the match where Armagh really needed a goal. They were 5 points down, and the game was slipping away from them. And a good build-up where John Grimley, I think, laid the ball off to Neil Smith, and Neil went off on a solo down the centre. And unfortunately for him, he didn't hit the target. The ball went wide. So that one was a big loss. Yeah. That was a big miss for Armagh.
Just going to have a look at this one coming up, Sean, I think. And here, as you said, Neil would certainly be disappointed he didn't do better in the finish of this.
Yes.
Because he got everything opened up in front of him.
Yes, he had the space, but, you know, at that stage, you must at least hit the target. And, you know, to put it wide there, they needed the goal, and within a very short space of time, Meath, you know, turned the screw, and Meath got the goal that Armagh badly needed. It
was a real turnout. This was a real 6-point turnaround, if you look at it from that point of view, that a few minutes later, Bernard Flynn's got his second goal in the net.
Well, there were still 10 minutes left in the game at this stage, but for the crowd, the game was over. You know, when this ball came up, a long ball, I think, from PJ Gillick, the hand pass, and great work here by Trevor Giles. Although beaten and on the ground, he flicked the ball, he kept working, Stafford to Flynn. You know, it's like old times with those two fellas. But you must admire the youngster there, that he tackled while on the ground. He could have stayed there and said, I have my job done. Yeah. It shows the tenacity of the young players in Meath.
That seemed to be very much part of Meath's ploy this afternoon, right through the match, particularly, in fact, over the first 10-15 minutes, that they chased and they harried Armagh all over the pitch, and they never let them in with a chance of settling.
Well, you know, that's what I say. The tactics were right, because they compelled Armagh to do what Armagh really didn't want to do. Ger Houlihan needed the ball in front. He needed the ball hitting the grass. It didn't come that way. Martin O'Connell was able to feel it over his head. And the young players in the Meath team, they have so much energy and they have so much enthusiasm as well as skill, that they certainly made life very difficult around the centre for Armagh.
An overall assessment of the match from a spectacle point of view, I suppose Meath were always just that little bit in advance, weren't they?
Well, Meath were in control the first half, yet there were only 2 points in it at half time. In the second half, you know, as I said, 10 minutes from the end it was over. But in the interim, we had a lot of high fielding, particularly good skills today, the high fielding and the tackling. And I thought particularly that a lot of people left Croke Park happy, and of course a lot of Meath supporters left happy that the championship's ready to start, and they're wondering what might happen then.
There was good feeling from both sides, in actual fact.
There was some excellent feeling, you know, from kick-outs and from play. I think there are a few of them coming up here. This was won by Martin O'Connell, a very, very clean catch, under pressure, took it cleanly and got it away. I think this is Jarlath Burns coming to this one. Jarlath up, you know, took the ball cleanly and started off again. We had a lot of that today. We had some from Colm O'Rourke, we had some from Tommy Dowd. This is Jarlath Burns again, another great catch. And it's good to see the players getting the ball, catching it and not being fouled, getting the ball away to a colleague, as happened in that case there.
You mentioned a moment ago the championship. Of course, for these two sides, the championship is just around the corner. First of all, from Armagh's point of view, disappointment today. Now the championship faces them in a fortnight's time.
Yes, you know, it can be one of two things. It can be a real downer, or somebody can suffer the backlash, you know. So they will be trying to get their house in order, but they have very little time. Fermanagh also, they had a great result today, winning the Ulster Under-21 Championship.
Yeah.
So they too will be facing into the game with
course.
a lot of confidence, and I'm sure Armagh will be wary, and a lot of people in Ulster will be buying the tickets to get in there. It's going to be very exciting.
What about Meath? Now, they've restated themselves in Leinster, I suppose, and they will have to be a team to watch over the next couple of months.
Yes, today they were underdogs in some people's eyes, and I think now their cover is blown. They were good today. They cannot go in as underdogs again, with the quality of their forward play is such that they will have to probably be installed as favourites in Leinster. The Dubs don't seem to have the same fluency in their forward line as yet. Then of course there's Kildare, Laois, Westmeath. There's so many in Leinster, but Meath will be favourites, and it's a heavy load to carry.
All right, Sean, just looking at some of the phone calls before we let you go on this item of the programme. This caller from Rathcoole in County Dublin, Jerry O'Sullivan, says in today's game that he watched why the referee not take the names of more players who pulled down their opponents. He felt that the referee was a little bit loose in his handling of the game. What's your view?
Yes, this is one of the irritating things about the game, that the inconsistency where some referees, as happened in the last game on television, the player was sent off. Today we had many examples of players being pulled down and the referee let play go. He gave the free and he didn't do anything about it. That's the inconsistency that has to be eradicated. And while people have been working on it, I think the referees themselves have got to be far more conscious of what's happening, and unfortunately they're not. Jerry, and in fact a few other people who have phoned into us as well, wanted to make the point that they feel that Colin O'Rourke gets away with too much on the field, and Jerry wants to know, does he think that referees are afraid of him?
Well, I think Colin is learning. He kicked one kick today with his right foot, so with a bit of experience he'll be a good player yet.
And on the evidence of that, he perhaps shouldn't have done it either. Sean, thank you very much for the moment. Now we come to our man of the match selection from this afternoon's big match, and the honour of being the first man of the match on this season's Sunday game falls to Meath's Tommy Dowd. Now, the Dundee clubman has made quite an impression since winning the full forward position on the Meath team, and at Croke Park today, he gave another outstanding display. Well, after the match, he was presented with his award by Damien O'Neill, the Group Head of Marketing with Church and General, the sponsors of the National League.
Time for the man of the match presentation for the National League football final for 1994. Making the presentation, Damien O'Neill, Group Head of Marketing for Church and General, and the recipient is Tommy Dowd.
Well done, Tommy.
Right then, well, next here on the Sunday game, we turn our attention